There I am. Hello, hello. Welcome to our Tuesday Veg Inspired Live Show. So excited you're here. I already see Vanessa is dropping into the chat with a little hashtag Team Live. Let me know if you're here, where you're tuning in from. I am tuning in from Ocala, Florida. Yes, we are here for the winter. As a quick background, I'm a real person. I travel full time in a fifth wheel RV with my husband, John, and our two cats. So don't be surprised if one of them comes for a visit. They often do when I start talking to the camera. It's real life over here. So while I'm talking, feel free to drop your comments, questions in the chat. I'll circle back at the end and we will get back with all of you. Drop a hey if you're tuning in. Let me know if you just tuned in, where you're calling in from, where you're watching from. And I am excited to get into this topic today. So welcome to the Veg Inspired Live. I'm your host, Kathy Davis, a former school teacher turned plant-based mindset coach, 3-time plant-based cookbook author, and the CEO of Veg Inspired. I empower high achievers to elevate their energy, step into their genius, and crush their ambitions by helping them eat more plants and adopt healthy habits. Yes, we've got Team Live, Charlotte, North Carolina. Awesome. Drop some fire in the chat if you're ready to learn all about how to crush those goals and elevate your energy. Today, I wanted to share my story. And really, it's been quite a roller coaster, but it has helped me determine my why and how I use healthy habits like plant based eating to elevate my own energy, step into my genius, and really crush my big girl goals. And so I always, I like to start really by having you center into your goal. And one of the big key takeaways I want you to have is that our wellness is the root of everything in our lives, from our relationships and our health to our productivity and our mental well-being. Wellness plays a critical role. And I personally recognize the role of healthy habits in my own life while reaching new levels when I worked at a privately owned company over 10 years ago. And I didn't really know how important positive self talk, faith in my goals, daily gratitude, eating healthy could really be. I didn't know how important those things could be to my everyday life until I started doing those. And 8 years ago, while I was still working for that company, my life changed because my husband introduced the idea of eating more plants. And I was super, super reluctant. I didn't really think it would work. I didn't want to be that vegan, right? But with his passion for cooking, he created amazingly delicious plant-centered meals that really started to bring me around, really started to allow me to embrace plant-based eating as an option, as a lifestyle. And some of the big things that I noticed early on was I felt lighter. I felt cleaner. I felt more clear headed. I felt a better digestion. I didn't feel crappy every time I ate. And that plant based eating, paired with the healthy habits of mindset and movements, really helped me excel in that company, taking leaps and bounds beyond where I thought I would be, moving into executive roles and really being able to make an impact where that company, was going. And at that same time, though, I had this little itch to inspire, this little itch to start my own way of sharing. And Veg Inspired was born in 2015, February of 2015. And at the time, I really had the goal of inspiring more people to eat more plants. But I wanted to marry all of that mindset work that I had done with the restaurants or with the recipes and the plant-based eating that I had done. But what happened was the recipes, the restaurants, the pretty colored pictures really took over. That's what performed well. People love to look at the colorful food. They love to learn about vegan meals and easy ways to make recipes and what restaurants I was eating at. And that was all great. And Veg Inspired grew. And I have amazing fans, and I've written cookbooks, and I have super fans who love our recipes, and I'm forever grateful. But the missing piece to all of that has been mindset. And for the 4 years, our life was fairly normal, right? I was eating plant based. I was, living the dream, working for different companies. I was commuting, right? We shopped for our groceries on the weekends. We commuted from our white picket fence house, I always call it, to work outside the home. Some nights we cooked, most nights we dined out because let's be honest, two incomes, no kids. We had the money to do that. We could do whatever we wanted. And we didn't think too much of it, right? We'd hustle at work, we'd get home, we'd kick our feet up, and it was burnout, right? The couch coma. I don't want to cook tonight. Let's just get takeout. I don't want to cook. Let's just go out to cook, right? Who can relate to that? Who can relate to that? You're like doing all the things all day long, and you just don't want to do the things when you get home. And some weeks, all that food that we bought at the grocery store, embarrassingly enough, some of it had to go. We had to toss it because it went bad, because we didn't use it. We didn't have an intention for it. And we loved our vegan life, but those habits were far from healthy, right? Despite our study of mindset and positivity, we never really thought about the way we thought about food and our daily habits. While I wanted to talk about mindset as a healthy thing, I never really thought about how it linked to the food, how it connected the way we thought about food in our daily habits. You see, because I was doing it as a separate silo, right? Mindset was the separate habit that I had, and food was a different habit. But until I learned that how I thought about food would really change my life, they just continued as separate silos along the path. And as we shifted our life focus from the white picket fence and those 9 to 5s and those 2 leased cars and all the fancy things we want, to travel and adventure, and sold our sticks and bricks and moved into our RV, our habits became more obvious, right? While we hike and adventure on the weekends, our weekdays were filled with no commute, little movement, lots and lots of computer time. We ate a lot of convenience foods because we didn't prioritize our health. Right? We would have had plenty of time to cook, but we didn't want to. We dined out a lot because how could we drive through those cities and miss those foods, miss those vegan restaurants in these places that we go? I spent a lot of time working from the couch, lounging around with the TV on, watching YouTube videos, catching up on my relaxation, getting nowhere. And truly, the pivotal turning point for me was in December of 2019. And it's ironic because I'm getting ready to go back to the campground, the same place that I had that turning point. Despite my vegan diet for 5 years at that time, my health and wellness had been put on the side burner. More processed, unhealthy foods had been added. My focus was on documenting our travels across the US in the RV, enjoying dinners at many vegan restaurants in the cities we traveled, right? And I call it the fateful day. But looking back, it was the day that would truly change my life forever. Right? And I don't want to get into all of these, trigger conversations necessarily, but I want to remind you that sometimes it's that trigger point. It's the point where instead of going toward where the path that you're on, you have that pivotal point. For me, it was a step on the scale. It indicated I was at my highest weight ever, and frustrated, embarrassed, and finally willing to accept that I hadn't felt well in a while. I decided to take control of my health. I immediately reread the Starch Solution and How Not to Die and put together an action plan. And you might be sitting there and you're like, well, goodness gracious, an action plan? Do you really need an action plan for taking control of your health? Listen, you need an action plan for action you're going to take. Right? And that action plan led to a simple but powerful affirmation. I am eating high carb, whole foods, mostly unprocessed, to take control of my health and lose weight. That was my affirmation. Right? With John on board, we embarked on a wellness journey that changed our lives. That was 2 years ago. Through implementing intentional daily habits. Intention, that's my word. Intentional daily habits of whole plant-based meals, movement, mindset practice, and hydration. I lost 6 pounds in 6 months, 35 pounds in 6 months. But guess what? We can talk all about the loss, right? We can sit here and we can be like, oh, it's all about weight loss. You know what? It's not. It's not about weight loss because it's about what I gained, right? I gained tremendous results, energy, no more food waste. The physically being able to show up as the person I wanted to be. A publishing deal for the 30-minute whole food plant-based cookbook, which led to 2 more cookbooks that I literally wrote into the wee hours of the night because I was driven by the whole food meals that I was recipe testing. I would have never had the energy to write that cookbook eating the junk food that I was eating over 2 years ago. Looking back, it's easy to tell now how poorly I felt, how a day's worth of work 2 years ago would have left me exhausted and burnt out, how having to show up to film a recipe video was like asking me to move a mountain because I was tired, right? I'd lost the light inside me. And, people will say to me, well, I don't understand how food can do that, right? Food doesn't impact that. I promise you, food does. Because if you feel like crap, you're going to show up like crap. It's hard to look back at that woman, right? Me, who had so much passion in here, but wasn't able to express myself because I was too tired. I was exhausted. I remember one weekend when we filmed a bunch of recipes, I was like, I don't want to do this again. Can we just film all of them this week? I don't want to do it again for a month. A month. I'm a recipe creator and I didn't want to get in front of the camera and create recipes. I feel bad for that person because I truly didn't know then that I could feel this amazing, that I could feel this energized, that I could go and show up live and have confidence to be on the camera. I remember those times when I would sit back and I would be like, oh God, we have to do a recipe video. I'm going to need to do my hair. I'm going to need to do my makeup. I'm going to need to find the skinniest shirt. I'm going to need to make sure that when I look in the mirror, I feel comfortable because I'm going to be on camera. Is that relatable? I didn't know how good I could feel until I felt better. I didn't know that being able to wake up without pains in my joints from years of cheerleading, that I would feel better and be ready to step into my genius and really be able to work the whole day. I didn't know that having better sleep meant that I'd actually be able to get up early and practice my daily gratitude and practice the meditation and the movement that I wanted. I didn't know that having clearer skin and less bloat and less weight on me I didn't know how much confidence that would build in me. Because you see, I didn't lose confidence overnight. It was over time. Just like you don't go healthy or unhealthy overnight, it takes time. It takes implementing those intentional habits. It takes doing the things. It takes taking the action. It takes following the action plan. I didn't know it could be better until I started to experience better. And my dedication to those intentional daily habits led to the results, the renewed energy, a newfound sense of joy, a healthier and clearer mind, no more mind fog, right? And I'm dedicated to providing high achieving professionals just like me with the resources to make that similar transformation. I love helping people, guiding them on their journey from where they are to that place that they aspire to be, but they didn't even know that place existed. Right? I am grateful that I have the privilege of empowering others to elevate their energy, to step into their genius, to crush their goals by eating more plants and developing those healthy living habits. I talk a lot about the ripple effect. The ripple effect where I change your life and you go on and you serve to change other people's lives. And they serve and change other people's lives. And that one little change of action that I inspire you to do creates a ripple effect. It's the results of the transformation that these high achievers can make that creates the ripple in the world. It gives us a bigger impact. And I'm fortunate to be able to be the coach, to be someone who's gone through the experiences, who's been where you are, who's had the couch coma, right? Vanessa, life as a C-suite exec. Yes, food is always a part of the travels, right? How can we make it still a part of our travels without letting it control how we feel? Right? Co-creating the plans to achieve the goal that's supported by that deep-rooted why. And it's different for everybody, right? For me, it was to take control of my health and lose weight. I didn't know the impact it would have on my business, on my career. I didn't know that just by eating more plants and adopting healthy habits that I'd have energy, that I would be able to show up better in my business and get the visibility of a publisher. And that one book would lead to 3. I didn't know that. 2 years ago, when I stepped on the scale on that pivotal day, I didn't know the transformation that would have in me, in my productivity. For others, it's to take control of their health and get off their medications because we don't know what the next steps are. For some, it's the self-confidence, right? You start to gain that confidence in yourself and you're like, I can show up live every day. I want to go live every day. I want to make an impact, right? The goal to eat more plants or adopt a fully plant-based lifestyle is actually part of the overall wellness goal. And that's what we uncover. And I'm lucky to be at this place in my life where I can help people. I can help people write that action plan, implement the strategies, implement the tactics along the way, develop their self-efficacy, learn how to track their tasks, learn how to track their actions, and learn how to respond to life's events, right? I still have those same life's events. I'm still going to Thanksgivings and I'm still going to social events, kind of, right? There's still things along the way that I want to do. And a lot of times it's no, you can't do those things because I'm different, right? And I get to support my clients along the way through check-in calls, accountability, office hours. Really, that interaction and those times helps them build the foundation for successful and sustainable life changes. Life changes that will support their energy, their business, their career goals, their wellness, their health. Maybe it is a weight loss goal because maybe that's the only concrete thing that they can hold on to. Right? I am dedicated to helping my clients create this vibrancy, this productive life that allows them to step into their genius and start the ripple effect, where plant-based eating feels normal. Right? And I always say, we think we know what we need to hear. Right? I have people all the time tell me, "Oh, I can totally do this if I just had more recipes. I can totally do this if I just had somebody cook for me." And that could be true. But it's also a mindset shift. And a lot of times we don't even know that's what we need until we hear a phrase. We hear something from someone. And we're like, "Oh, that's the key." And so along my journey, I learned these powerful lessons and I sprinkle my own stories into my interactions with my clients. And one powerful lesson I learned and that I will stand with conviction on is intention. It is the intentional daily habits that get you to your goal. It is the intentional habits over that perfectionist mindset. You see, because I found perfectionism caused a huge crevice along my path. It was the reason that all of the diets, the plans, the workout plans, the this, the that, it was that. It's everything I tried that never worked. Because I was never doing it with intention. I was never doing it with that mindset shift about becoming who I wanted to be. And sometimes you don't know. You know a little bit. You might have an idea, right? I had an idea of who I wanted to be on that day that we decided to eat whole plant-based foods, mostly unprocessed, to lose weight and take control of our health. I knew I wanted to be somebody who could hike in these amazing national parks. I knew I wanted to be somebody who could get in the kitchen and cook up a recipe and not feel so uncomfortable in front of the camera. I knew I wanted to be somebody who could inspire and empower people to want to eat more plants. I didn't necessarily know that changing my daily habits and changing the way that I ate would build that within me, right? I wanted to be someone who could run a business, who could hike a mountain without feeling like crap. And that was the key to my success. And a lot of people will say, well, but you had recipes. You and John like to cook. But we weren't. We weren't cooking. We were eating out all the time. But you had the funding to do that. You could eat out, so it was fine. But that wasn't getting us to the goal. You see, when you align your actions with the goal, that's when you start to see this. That's when you start to see the success. That's when you start to see the changes take place. And that's what I learned. And man, was it a roller coaster. Man, from this type of way of eating to this type of way of eating. I mean, if I think back to the 20 years of career that I've had, all of the different plans, all of the different things that I tried to do, all of the different books, all of the different things, but I never really connected the mindset with the food and how I thought about the two and how they blended together until last year, 2 years ago, until 2 years ago. And that's the difference. I didn't realize the food played such an important role in how I felt. I think back to when I was teaching. Man, I was the teacher that was hustling. I came right in out of the gate, graduated my master's. I was going to be the rock star. I was going to be teacher of the year. I was going to do it all, and I did. I did it all. I showed up for all the extra things that teachers can do. I coached cheerleading. I did everything. Took extra classes to get add-on certificates. But I never took control of my health. I was sick a lot, right? Those sweet, germy little kids. I was sick a lot. I would show up sick because I didn't want to not be there. I wanted to be teacher of the year. I didn't ever correlate that if I had eaten better and taken better care of myself, that I might not have shown up so sick. Right? So when we're career driven, we don't look at those foundational habits that would make us feel better, that would allow us to have the energy. I talk to people sometimes and they'll say, oh, well, I usually work through lunch. Oh, you usually work through lunch. Lunch is my favorite meal. Starch, salad, keeps me going till dinner. And I usually don't snack during the day. Thank you, Vanessa. Right? What action can you take today what intentional action can you take today to take control of your health, to elevate your energy? What do you want? Do you want to have more energy to run your business? Do you want to have more energy to level up in your career? Do you want to have more energy to make memories with your grandchildren or the children in your life, with your own children? What is one action you can take today? One healthy habit, movement, hydration, eating more plants, more whole plant foods. What is it? Mindset. What action can you take? You see, the realization of being able to connect mindset and food to those intentional daily habits is why I help high achievers eat more plants and make healthy living habits their way of life. Because when I realized that those daily, healthy, intentional habits led to my successes, allowed me to step into the person I wanted to be, that's when the game changed. And that is what I'm dedicated to do. That's the mission I'm on, to empower others to elevate their energy, step into that genius, crush their goals, all by adopting healthy eating habits. So I loved having you here today. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Go ahead and give me some hashtag team live if you're live. Give me some hashtag team replay if you're catching the replay. Next week, we will be back noon Eastern again with another top training video for you. Georgiana, afternoons used to be my downfall too. I would snack and snack and snack. And what I found was if I ate a satiating lunch of starches and beans and lots of salad and lots of yummy things at lunch, it would keep me fueled for the rest of the day. So I hope that tip helps you. You all, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Bye.